Alright, today's video, pretty interesting. You know, sometimes I have an idea, and I put a list together. Or I start making a list. Like, this is a cool idea, and when I get enough items on this list, then I can make a video. And I've had some things, trying to get you out of the wind here. I've had some things where it's like, I think that would make for a very good video, but I can't think of more than like really one reason, one characteristic right now. Over time, things will come in and I'll have enough content to make a video. And some of these things have been on my like my video idea list for like over a year, and I'm just like not filling them out. This one, under the radar, got filled out. I happen to look back at this list of things that I don't like about poker, like specifically at the table. Not like broad characteristics, but specifically while you're playing, and realized it was 7 things. Didn't realize I had put that many things down, so I can make this video right now. First one, things I really dislike about poker. Plenty of things I love about poker. Some things that really annoy me while I'm playing poker. First one, of course, tanking. Didn't used to be a thing. I don't remember in Foxwoods it ever happening. I don't remember back in the day in Milwaukee it ever happening. Didn't even happen that much that I remember in like 2015 and 16 in Vegas. And then started happening. That was around when it started happening. There was one guy who's like the worst person on earth for it, who will show up to Council Bluffs when there's tournament series. Actually, I don't remember seeing him recently, but saw him a lot in like 2017, 18, 19. And yeah, it's getting bad. It's gotten bad. In Vegas, it wasn't awful in 2014, 15, but it could be bad real now. It could be real bad now. So, really hate tanking. Would love the idea of a shot clock. Very difficult to implement, but I'm a fan of the concept. Anyway, tanking, first one. Second one, asking for the waitress within 5 minutes of being at the table. Okay, that's a good one. So there are times, put it over there. There are times someone will just ask, like politely and curiously ask, because things are different. You know, some places drinks are free, some places they're not. Alcoholic drinks mostly, but even non-alcoholic drinks, some places they're free, some places they're not. Some places are just now, there's so many self-serve things around the casino. Even though they have waitresses, you might be waiting for a while. It would be better to get it yourself. So there are people who just sit down and ask like, do waitresses come into the poker room? I have no problem with that. But there are people who are instantly mad that they sat down to play, and within 5 seconds of being dealt the first hand, there isn't a waitress asking for drink orders. That happens plenty often. Someone sits and like literally, if you put a stopwatch on them, it would be fewer than 60 seconds, and they're like really agitated. They look around. Do the waitresses even bother coming around here? It's like, you've been here for like 32 seconds. Why are you this mad? For one, we've been waiting about 45 minutes and none of us are as mad as you. You've been here like 30 seconds. That happens a lot. Can't stand that. Don't mind if someone asks just to know, but I can't stand it when people are instantly that mad. Third thing, let's put it on that side. I guess I'm alternating. Really don't like raises to single digits. That bothers me. I really don't like playing 1-2 and seeing raises to 5 straight. It's just, I remember like never seeing this. Played in Foxwoods a few times, never happened. Played over 600 hours in Milwaukee, don't remember it happening once. Got to Vegas, and when I first got to Vegas, played a lot of Planet Hollywood, Bellagio, Aria, don't remember it happening there. I think in early 2016, I was playing at Harrah's, which I probably should have played there more, especially late at night, but I was playing there, and it wasn't that late in the day, and that was just happening constantly. For one, I just like didn't know how to react, because I didn't know what it was. Like, okay, the guy chose to raise, but this is like no money. Should I just be like making it 40 every single time and stealing this? Or like, is this just how the game plays? Like, is he like limping with like jacks and like raising to 5 with kings? Like, I had no idea what to do. Also, I don't know. It also bothers me that like you can't just throw in a $5 chip and a $1 chip and like not need to announce it. The fact that you like want to raise and you the one chip, it's not even as bad if it's 5 $1 chips. I don't mind that as much. Raising to 5 straight with a single chip, there are just reasons I can't even explain them all very well. That really bothers me. That's the third thing. Fourth thing, this is on some dealers. I'm not a fan of when the dealer, so someone puts out a bet. I'll put the graphic up now. When a dealer guesses the amount and then counts afterwards. So someone will slide out a bet and the dealer's not supposed to say anything. It might just be one tall stack of chips. Whether it looks like exactly 20 chips, whether you could tell it's short, whether you can tell it's a little more, who cares? A bet gets slid out across the line. The dealer's not supposed to say anything unless another player asks, how much is that? When someone asks, this happens a lot, dealers will guess. They'll say something like, oh, I think it's 110, and then they'll count it out. And sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. Here's the thing. You're gonna count it out anyway, so after you count it out, you'll get it right. I don't like the guess because it often interrupts the thinking of the player whose turn it is. Someone slides out a large stack of chips, or you can't see my hand over there because of the graphics. Someone slides out a large stack of chips, and someone's thinking. Like, the person could tell about how much it is. Some people can, some people can't. But the person is in thought. It's that guy's turn to act, and he's thinking. So when he's thinking, and then he asks for a count, and now the thinking is getting more serious, sometimes people say, like, don't bother. They're like, they know they're close to folding anyway. If someone gets to the point where he asks, and then he hears multiple numbers, it just, like, I could tell it's messing them up. He'll ask how much, and the dealer, like I said, might say, I think it's 110, and then count it out. Oh, I was wrong, 105. And then the player will ask, so how much is it? Like, he's in thought. He's not totally focused on the dealer and all the voices at the table. He's thinking, and then he hears two numbers and he doesn't know what's going on. And so I don't like that, but it's not like the worst thing that ever happens, but I don't like it. Second dealer thing, 2 dealer things in this list of 7. If the way you get a fill is to call the floor over and then count out the money, and then the floor takes the money, or even a chip runner. But some places are kind of informal and just like take the money out of the well, fold it up, and hand it to somebody. A lot of places though are formal. Borgata has this. Borgata doesn't do that. Borgata, the money goes down a chute. All the rebuy money goes down a chute like you're playing blackjack. But most places, you hand the cash to a chip runner or a floor and you count it on the table before you do that. I'm not a fan of when dealers just like fan it out very quickly and then kind of guess, because for the same reason as the last thing, they're going to be counting it out exactly anyway. There's a guy who's infamous for this at Bellagio. If he has like 12 $100 bills, he'll just fan them out. For one, he's not that good that 2 bills never get stuck together. That happens plenty. So he'll say like, I think it's 1,200, should be 1,200, and then he'll only count 11. And he needs to take them back and then go one by one like he's supposed to anyway, and then you find the missing bill, the 2 bills that were sticking together. So I don't like when dealers just like spread them out really quickly. In the first like 2 seconds, yeah, it seems like it kind of saves some time, but then when you need to count it out properly, it actually ends up wasting time. Last 2 things, no more things to do with dealers. Last 2 things have to do with players. 6th thing, this is a player thing, and 6 and 7 are similar. A player thing is number 6, when a guy speaks up at the worst possible time. So there are times there's a mistake, and yes, officially it's a mistake. Something went wrong at the table, but it's really not having any effect on anything, and I don't say something. But one of the reasons I will speak up is if I can tell someone else noticed, is on the brink of speaking up, not sure enough to speak up, but I know is going to speak up as soon as we start the next hand, which is the absolute worst time. If you speak up in the moment, okay, then you can fix it. It's not a big deal. If you never speak up, okay, there's nothing to fix. Not a big deal. No time gets wasted. When something happens at the end of a hand and then you speak up as soon as everyone gets their cards for the next hand, that is the worst possible time. It wastes the most possible time. I can't stand that. So that's one of the 2 reasons I'll speak up. That's probably more than 2 reasons, but that's one of the big reasons I speak up. If I can tell someone is contemplating speaking up and calling out a mistake, but is gonna wait until the absolute worst time imaginable to do it, I do it right away and save everybody some time. Last thing is similar. There are times a player, this isn't really for mistakes, but there are times players are mad, of course, happens all the time. And then after like throwing a fit, they'll say, oh, but it's not a big deal. I can't stand that. Guys sometimes will like be talking to the dealer. Sometimes they'll just be talking to me. I'm sitting next to them. A guy, I'm in the 4 seat, a guy's in the 3 seat, and just because I'm closest, he'll be telling me how mad he is for a really long time, and then he'll finish with, oh, but it's not a big deal. So why did I need to listen to you complain for 3.5 minutes about this thing that doesn't matter if it's not a big deal? It seems like a huge deal. Why don't you just say at the end, oh, and it's a huge deal to me, my life revolves around this. I wouldn't mind as much. I'd still be a little annoyed, but I wouldn't mind quite as much if they ended it with the truth. When they end with, oh, but it's not a big deal, I can't stand that. There you go, 7 things that annoy me at the poker table. Will all of them get fixed? Probably never. Video's over. And remember, rice is a spoon food.